1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The President emphasises that the problems in the remote areas cannot be solved from the offices in Colombo. State Minister Ajith Niwad Cabral says that the government's policy is to pay back debt on the due date. A program is underway to prevent the first contacts of the coronavirus patients being infected. In foreign news, New Zealand investigates new COVID-19 case linked to quarantine facility. In sports tennis, Russia meets Italy in ATP Cup final. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that by working hard, the people's recognition can be gained. He pointed out that he became the president by working hard as a secretary and gaining the recognition of the people. The President mentioned this at the 9th Gama Samaga Pilisandarak program, which is now taking place at the Kagalla Dharaniyagala Dikkalakanda school. The President said that nationalism cannot be protected without a proper economic plan. He emphasized that a national leadership would be lost if a proper local economic process was not implemented. The President said that the Gama Samaga Pilisandarak program was launched to provide solutions to the problems of rural communities and to take development to the villages. President Rajapaksa pointed out that he never attempted to move among the people through media circuses. He said that getting recognition from the people by hard work sets a good example to young politicians. The President noted that problems in the remote areas cannot be solved from the offices in Colombo. He said that it is essential to visit those areas to solve them. He further said development in the rural communities cannot be expected without improving the local economy and developing the country. He added that the environment must be protected along with development and the power of nature should be utilized for humanity. State Minister Ajith Niwad Cabral says that the government's policy is to pay back debt taken from various countries and international organizations on the due date. He said that there is no change in the policy with regard to India and the loans taken from that will be paid on time. The State Minister said that the government has taken a clear decision about the East Container Terminal of the Colombo Harbour. He said that the government expects to clarify the details cordially with India and Japan. He further said that the government hopes to manage the situation without affecting the local economy. During a meeting at Teldenia in Kandy yesterday, he said that the present government will not engage in the selling process of public assets as done by the previous administration. State Minister of Finance Ajith Niwad Cabral says investigations will be carried out with regard to certain banks debiting money without informing account holders. He said complaints regarding similar incidents have been received and strict action will be taken against such banks. State Minister Cabral noted that he expects to propose new rules in the future to prevent unfair moves taken by certain banks. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Secretary to the Ministry of COVID Control, Consultant Dr. Amal Harsha De Silva, says that a program is underway to prevent the first contacts of coronavirus patients being infected. He said that steps will be taken to categorize hotels and to provide quarantine facilities to the patients. The Examinations Department today said it has decided to suspend the GCE O-Level 2020 practical exams due to the prevailing COVID-19 threat in the country. Examinations Commissioner Sanat Pujitha said that alternate methods will be taken to conduct the aesthetic practical exams. He said after discussions with the ministry's secretary, it was decided to assign marks for the practical exams based on the school-based assessment program. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
735 coronavirus patients have been identified by this morning. The highest number of them has been found from the Colombo district, which is 158. A total of 67,749 infected persons have been reported from the country by this morning. 61,460 have left hospitals after recovering from the virus. By this morning, another 4 deaths have been recorded. Accordingly, the total number of deaths has increased to 343. Meanwhile, 12,024 PCR tests have been conducted yesterday. That was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs opened a regional consular office in Kandy today. The opening of the office will allow the general public in the central province and adjacent areas to obtain a range of consular services without having to travel to the Consular Affairs Division of the Foreign Ministry in Colombo. That came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In world news headlines, New Zealand investigates new COVID-19 case linked to quarantine facility. Myanmar military leaders block Twitter and Instagram. The ICC rules it has jurisdiction over the West Bank and Gaza abuses. New Zealand health authorities said today they were investigating a new community coronavirus infection, the 4th in 2 weeks among people who completed mandatory isolation at an Auckland quarantine facility for returned overseas travellers. The new case was diagnosed in a person self-isolating at home in Hamilton who was released from a 2-week hotel quarantine on the 30th of January after testing negative twice for the virus. Twitter and Instagram have become the latest social media sites to be blocked for its users in Myanmar following Monday's coup by the military. Telenor, one of the country's main internet providers, confirmed it had been ordered to deny access to the two sites until further notice. The coup leaders blocked Facebook on Thursday for the sake of stability. The International Criminal Court ruled yesterday that it has jurisdiction over war crimes and atrocities committed on the Palestinian territories. The judgment paves the way for the court to open a criminal investigation. Court prosecutor Fatou Bensouda had previously called for investigations, saying there was a reasonable basis to believe war crimes had happened. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu criticized the ruling, while Palestinian officials praised it. Christopher Plummer, the distinguished Canadian actor best known for his role as Captain Von Trapp in The Sound of Music, has died at the age of 91. He won an Oscar in 2012 for the film Beginners and was also nominated for The Last Station in 2010 and All the Money in the World in 2018. And now the headlines of the World News segment once again. New Zealand investigates new COVID-19 case linked to quarantine facility. Myanmar military leaders block Twitter and Instagram. The ICC rules it has jurisdiction of the West Bank and Gaza abuses. That was World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
And now in development news, Agriculture Minister Mahindananda Aluskamage said Sri Lanka would aim at self-sufficiency in 16 food crops by increasing cultivation through measured steps. Only 22% of the total onion requirement of the country is produced locally. The minister said 12 to 15 billion rupees is spent to import the rest. Plans are underway to increase the local production up to 35% this year, 45% next year and 60% in 2023. That was development news. And now in sports news. In tennis, Daniil Medvedev fired Russia into the final of the ATP Cup today with a tense 3-6, 6-3, 7-5 win over an injury-hampered Alexander Zverev after the German destroyed a racket in frustration over a lost service break. Russia will meet Italy in Sunday's final after Matteo Berrettini sealed a 2 win against Spain by beating Roberto Bautista. 6375. America's biggest sporting spectacle will play out in a mostly empty stadium in Tampa, Florida tomorrow, with more cardboard cutout fans than real ones, taking in the Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and the hometown Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In cricket news, today is the second day of the first test of the England tour of India in Chennai. Batting first, England with 373 for 3 wickets a short while ago. The second test between South Africa and Pakistan is underway in Rawalpindi for the third day today. Batting first, Pakistan scored 272 in their first innings. In reply, South Africa were 188 for 7 wickets a short while ago. The fourth day's play of the first test of the West Indies tour of Bangladesh is in progress at Chattogram. Bangladesh scored 430 in their first innings and West Indies 259. A short while ago, Bangladesh were 199 for 4 wickets. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Aitken Spence Travels, working in partnership with TUI Kazakhstan, welcomed the first charter flight from Kazakhstan this morning with 160 passengers at the Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport. There will be 2 charters operating from Kazakhstan, and it will be a first since the Sri Lankan borders reopened for tourists. The Air Astana flight will be a weekly flight operating every Saturday and is expected to continue till April 2021. Air Astana is a flag carrier of Kazakhstan based in Almaty. It operates domestic and international services on 64 routes from its main hub Almaty International Airport and from its secondary hub Nurustan Nazarbayev International Airport. That was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. It will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The central bank announced that Sri Lanka has settled its currency swap facility with the Reserve Bank of India as scheduled. It said there was no special request from India for a premature settlement, as erroneously reported by certain media outlets. The Reserve Bank of India in July 2020 signed necessary documents for extending a $400 million currency swap facility to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka till November 2022. That was economic news.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And now for the weather report. The Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the Uva and eastern provinces and in the Hambantota, Mathale and Nuwara Eliya districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the Sabaragamu province and in the Kalutara, Gala and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy falls, about 50 millimeters, can be expected at some places. Misty conditions can be expected in the western, central Sabaragamu and southern provinces during the morning. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The President emphasises that the problems in the remote areas cannot be solved from the officers in Colombo. State Minister Ajit Niwad Cabral says that the government's policy is to pay back debt on the due date. A program is underway to prevent the first contacts of the coronavirus patients being infected. In foreign news, New Zealand investigates new COVID-19 case linked to quarantine facility. In sports, tennis, Russia meets Italy in ATP Cup final. That concludes this news broadcast.